Let's be honest, there are things women secretly want men to do. Things they'll never admit out loud because they're afraid of how it sounds. They want control, but not too much. They crave attention, but only from the right man. And sometimes, the very things they say they hate are the exact things that make their hearts race. Today, I'm going to expose 7 dirty things women secretly wish men did based on dark female psychology. These aren't about being disrespectful. They're about understanding the primal side of female desire. The side she hides behind politeness, feminism, and words like, "I don't like that." Stay till the end, because number 7 reveals the core instinct that controls female attraction more than anything else. Attraction is rarely logical, and much of what drives it operates beneath conscious awareness. Human desire is shaped by emotion, instinct, and long-standing psychological patterns that influence behavior even when people deny or suppress them. Before we dive in, let me be clear about something. This isn't manipulation. This isn't about tricking women or being fake. This is about understanding the deep psychological patterns that drive human attraction. Patterns that exist whether we acknowledge them or not. The reality is, most men go through life completely blind to these hidden desires. They listen to what women say they want, but they ignore what women actually respond to. And that gap between words and reality is where most men lose the game before it even starts. This gap exists because social conditioning often teaches people to communicate what sounds acceptable rather than what feels true. Understanding this difference allows for more authentic and effective connection. So, if you're ready to understand the truth behind female attraction, if you're ready to see past the surface and into the psychology that drives desire, then let's begin. 1. She secretly wants you to take control confidently, not forcefully. Even the most independent woman feels an undeniable attraction toward a man who knows what he wants and takes the lead. She may say she loves equality, and she does, but emotionally she's drawn to masculine dominance. When you make decisions, guide situations, or lead her with calm confidence, you awaken something primal in her. It's not about control. It's about security. She wants to feel your certainty because it lets her relax into her feminine energy. Psychologically, certainty signals competence and emotional stability. These traits reduce anxiety and increase trust, which are fundamental components of attraction. Think about it this way. Every single day, she makes hundreds of decisions. What to wear, what to eat, how to respond to that email, how to handle that difficult coworker. She's constantly in problem-solving mode, constantly figuring things out. And when she's with you deep down, she doesn't want to make another decision. She wants to exhale. She wants to trust that you've got this, that you can navigate the moment with clarity and purpose. When you say, "I know a great place, let's go there," instead of, "Where do you want to go?" When you lead her through a crowd with your hand on the small of her back, when you make the call in uncertain moments without hesitation, you're giving her something she can't get anywhere else. The freedom to just be. But here's the key distinction most men miss. Leadership isn't about barking orders or being controlling. It's about being so internally certain that she naturally wants to follow your lead. It's about creating a space where she feels safe enough to surrender her need to control everything. The moment she feels you can handle her world without needing her validation, that's when attraction becomes instinctual. This is why the nice guy who constantly asks for permission, who defers every decision back to her, who seeks approval before taking action, he exhausts her emotionally. Not because he's kind, but because he's adding to her mental load instead of taking it away. True leadership is a gift you give her. The gift of letting her feminine energy flow freely because she trusts your masculine direction. 2. She wants you to tease her playfully, not cry. Most men are either too nice or too cold, but women secretly crave the middle ground. A man who can play with her mind just enough to keep her hooked. When you tease her with confidence and a smirk, you create emotional tension. That tension is addictive. It's what makes her replay conversations in her head at night. Teasing stimulates emotional engagement by introducing unpredictability and playful challenge, which keeps attraction alive and dynamic. Because teasing is a form of flirtation that says, "I'm not intimidated by you," and that's powerfully attractive. Let me break down why this works on such a deep level. When you tease a woman, you're essentially communicating several things at once. First, you're showing that you're comfortable enough to challenge her, that you're not walking on eggshells around her beauty or her presence. Second, you're creating emotional spikes, little moments of surprise that break the predictable pattern most men follow. And third, you're demonstrating social intelligence, the ability to read the room, to understand boundaries, and to dance right along that edge without crossing it. Women are attracted to men who can handle verbal sparring. Why? Because it shows mental strength. It shows you're not easily thrown off balance. It shows you have a personality that can't be intimidated or controlled. Think about the difference between these two responses is when she says she's running late. Response A, oh, that's okay. No worries at all. Take your time. Response B, let me guess. You changed your outfit 3 times and you're still not happy with it? The first response is safe. It's nice, but it creates 0 emotional charge. The 12-second response, it teases her playfully. It shows you understand her, and it makes her smile, maybe even laugh while she's scrambling to get ready. That small moment of playful tension just made her feel something. And feeling something, even if it's mock offense or playful annoyance, is infinitely better than feeling nothing. But here's the critical boundary. Teasing must come from a place of warmth, not cruelty. There's a massive difference between playful banter and cutting insults. Real teasing says, I see you, I like you, and I am comfortable enough to joke with you. Cruel mockery says, I want to hurt you to feel powerful. Women can tell the difference instantly. One makes her feel alive. The other makes her feel unsafe. Remember? Teasing done right builds chemistry faster than compliments ever will, because compliments tell her what she already knows. But teasing shows her who you are. 3. She wants to chase you, even if she'll never admit it. Here's a psychological fact. Women value what they earn more than what they're handed. When a man is too available, too eager, or too predictable, she loses interest, not because she's mean, but because her brain stops producing the thrill of pursuit. This pursuit activates reward circuitry in the brain, increasing emotional attachment through effort-based investment. The women who say they want a man who gives them everything, they get bored the moment they actually get him. She wants a man who's present but not clingy. A man she has to win over emotionally, because when she chases, her desire intensifies. Let me explain the psychology behind this, because it goes deeper than most people realize. Human beings, all human beings are wired to pursue what retreats and to retreat from what pursues. This isn't gender specific. It's not manipulation. It's basic human psychology that's been documented for centuries. When something is easily obtained, our brains assign it lower value. When something requires effort, investment, and uncertainty, our brains become obsessed with it. This is why the guy who texts back immediately every single time, who's always free, who drops everything the moment she reaches out, he kills attraction. Not because there's anything wrong with him as a person, but because he's removed all mystery, all challenge, all sense of having to earn his attention. Meanwhile, the guy who has his own life, his own purpose, his own schedule, the guy who sometimes takes hours to respond because he's genuinely busy, he creates natural scarcity. And scarcity triggers the chase response in her brain. She starts thinking about him more. She starts initiating contact more. She starts trying to figure him out, to win his approval, to secure his attention. And here's the beautiful paradox. The less she feels she has you, the more she wants you. The more she has to work for your time and attention, the more valuable that time and attention becomes to her. But again, there's a critical distinction here. This isn't about playing games or being intentionally cold. This is about genuinely having a life that matters to you. A mission, a purpose, goals, passions, things that legitimately demand your time and energy. When you're scarce because you're busy building something meaningful, that's attractive. When you're scarce because you're following some pickup artist strategy while actually sitting at home doing nothing, she scents thee and it'll repel her. The secret isn't to ignore her, it's to make her earn your attention. That's what makes her crave it. Because when a woman has to chase, she invests emotionally, and the more she invests, the more she values what she's pursuing. This is why the relationships where women chase initially often become the ones where they're most devoted long-term, because they had to work for it. They assigned it tremendous value, and now they'll fight to keep it. For she wants you to have a dark side just enough to feel dangerous. Women are drawn to contrast. They want the kind man who can